Hi everyone, Shannon with Apogee of the Moon, bringing you a weekly forecast from January 20th through January 26th. So we are just coming off the back end of that really powerful full moon in Leo, and so, I mean, I don't know about you all, but this was really super intense for me, just because I am a late degree Leo ascendant, so this was affecting my ascendant and descendant, my midheaven and my IC. So all the angles, and if you know anything really truly about astrology, the angles, anytime anything affects the angles, it's very intense and it can be very life altering. So there is that. So we'll get into that in a little while. But what I want to say is that it was a very intense full moon, but we probably let go of some things that we really just needed to let go of. Some things came to fruition that really have been taking a long time to come to fruition, and things that needed to be cut out and cut away probably were. If they haven't, they may. Especially this coming week, because on February 23rd, we do have a third quarter square. This is when we release things. So on February 23rd, we have a third quarter square at 5 degrees of Pisces and Sagittarius. So the sun has entered Pisces, which is wonderful. Now it's highlighting Jupiter and Neptune through its transits here, and that new moon coming up a week after this will be with Jupiter. So there's a lot of really nice things that we get to look forward to in the coming weeks, some nice energy, what have you. But for now, with this third quarter square, you know, that full moon happened in the fixed signs. Something needed to be fulfilled or cut away from our lives, right? Just in general. But as we wind down from that, and this final quarter square is happening in the mutable signs, whatever it was that came to fruition, or whatever it was that we let go out of our lives, we need to adapt to it. Right? Because the mutable signs are all about adapting and change. So this final quarter square is one of release and letting go. This is a shedding of a skin, so to say. And we begin to surrender, right? So third quarter squares are surrendering as we wind down and the moon is kind of losing its light, right? So there is that. So what is it that we had to adapt to after this full moon in Leo? And these are just some questions that I'm asking. So what do we need to adjust and reframe in the reality around us? And where can we escape or regroup, right? Because Pisces is very much about escaping, pulling away from the world, dreams, those types of things. So where is it that we can also reevaluate what truly needs to be released? And where is it that we can move forward after this new moon in Pisces? Okay. Also this week, on the same day of this third quarter square happening, Mars will be in a really nice sextile with Neptune. And so here we can take very dedicated, very diligent, very grounded action towards our dreams, our higher manifestations, wishes, things like that, and how we can make it a reality through diligent action. That's what this is about. So as Mars does approach Pluto with Venus in very tight tow, you know, what can we choose to release and give up in order to gain the wisdom, the sight, and the presence we truly desire? So that's a kind of a question to ask yourself this week. And then on the 24th, the very following day, you know, Venus is super tight with Mars. Mars is a little bit ahead of Venus, but she's going to be picking up steam here pretty soon, and as she gets up to her full speed after she comes out of her shadow period. So we're going to be seeing some really interesting things coming in March. So I will wait and talk about that. Speaking of, before we go any further, I do have an announcement. Yelena Crawford and I, over on her channel and my channel, we will be going live. We are beginning a video cast, and it is going to be the Jupiter Moon video cast. So I'm really super excited about that. I'm really super excited to be joining up with her and bringing you monthly forecasts, and anything else we decide that we want to talk about when we want to talk about it. So I'm really super excited about that. And just as a side note, because, you know, we were just talking about Neptune and all of that. So back to the forecast. So Venus sextile Neptune. This is actually Venus is a unifying planet, and so this could be a continuation of the action we took with Mars, and we can gain support and unify a cause with other people, right? Because Venus is about unifying and bringing things together. So where can we bring together like-minded individuals to be a cohesive unit and working together to achieve something that seems like a dream come true almost. So there is that. And then we do have Mercury coming into its square with Uranus. This is the second square that we've had. So Mercury is coming back into the exact square with Uranus. It's moved ahead a little bit. So where is it that we can be shocked out of complacency? Moved into action through communication with others, wild conversations about fantastical real events, right? At 11 degrees, Mercury is out of shadow. So this is kind of new territory that we are entering into. And so it's just barely out of shadow though. So just so you're aware, but it is out of shadow. So this is moving ahead at full speed into that conjunction that's coming up the following week with Saturn. So we can feel kind of overburdened and kind of shocked out of some type of complacency when it comes to our viewpoint, how we're seeing things, what we're seeing as reality. And there can be some really shocking news that comes in next week with this. So while we may be excited, enthusiastic about a project or a plan or an event or something, we still need to make sure that we are following our due diligence and dotting the I's and crossing the T's. This is not a time to be just diving in without a plan. You need to have a plan, right? And I say that because I actually have a really heavy Saturn in my chart. You always have to have a plan and a backup plan and a backup plan, just so you're aware. So now let's get into all 12 signs, and we'll talk about this third quarter square and what we could possibly be releasing from this full moon in Leo. So for Aries and for Aries rising, this third quarter square is happening in your 9th and in your 12th house. So as the sun transits here through your 12th house, you could be wanting to pull yourself away from the world, right? If you're a Pisces rising or a Pisces sun, there could be themes of pulling yourself away from the world, going behind the scenes, behind the veils. Maybe your dreams are really kind of brighter and shinier than real life right now. That could be a thing for you. But with this third quarter square happening in Sagittarius, there could definitely be a letting go of a higher viewpoint or a way that you frame reality that you need to let go, because there was something that happened at this full moon for you that had to do with your goals, your ambitions, your not your goals and your ambitions, your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, sorry, Aries, and your fun, your joy, your play, what brings you pleasure. There was something that needed to be let go of in terms of that. And with this third quarter square, this is having to shift your mindset, having to shift your worldview, having to shift how you frame reality, or maybe even needing to take a trip somewhere to get away from everything in order to get your head straight, right? It could be something like that where you just need a break, you need to get out, you need to go, you need to just move somewhere, right? That could be a thing too. Now, Mars in sextile with Neptune, this again, Venus and Mars are both in sextile from your 10th to your 12th house. So there could be some really interesting dreams, interesting things coming up behind the scenes that are going on that could be, it could also be something that's a very public standing, public reputation. This could be your public persona even. With Mars and Venus coming in tow, there's something that's changing here. You know, Mars was the aggressor when it comes to coming conjunct Venus. So Mars was the faster moving planet and overtook Venus because she was just coming out of retrograde. And so Mars is kind of ahead of Venus a little bit. So there was something that needed to be severed in terms of, you know, the Venus significations in your chart, Aries, to to do with money or to do with relationships. Something needed to be let go or something needed to change. And so now, as they are in sextile with Neptune, this can be something that is very ephemeral and very behind the scenes, or this could even be working with someone either at a hospital, behind the scenes, at a rehabilitation center, something like that. It could be working with something like that in a powerful way in order to help make changes in your life, with your relationships, with you specifically and your relationships, or your money, your materials, your possessions, something like that. And then Mercury squaring Uranus, this is happening in your 11th to your 2nd house. And so there's something that is, this square already happened. So if you think back to January, the beginning of January, before Mercury hit retrograde, it's stationed to go retrograde in square with Uranus. And so something that happened back then is now coming up for resolution, and it's kind of new territory being covered. So maybe there's something going on with your finances, with your money, with your friends groups, or with the people that you associate with by choice, or a cause that you have taken up. Excuse me. And it can be kind of shocking that you maybe have to spend this much money, or it can be shocking that there's money coming in, right? And going out or coming in with Uranus, you never know. But this is also really shocking conversations going on in your friends group that will affect your, either your money, your materials, or your possessions, or affect what it is that you value. Or it could feel like it's a really kind of shift in your value systems because of the conversations that you're having. So that's for Aries. For Taurus and for Taurus rising, this third quarter square is happening in your 11th and in your 8th house. And so that full moon that happened in your 10th and in your 4th. And so whatever was going on for you in terms of, you letting go of a relationship from the home front, because it was squaring the nodes and that was going on there, or some type of culmination or completion going on in terms of your career, or something to do with the home front was being highlighted that needed to be taken care of. And now as it winds down, this is happening in your 11th and in your 5th house. And so there's something that could possibly be needing to change in terms of the finance, joint finances, money, materials through other people, or inheritances, taxes, things like that. There can be a need to kind of visit those things and follow suit in terms of what's going on with your friends groups, what's going on with the social causes that you get behind. There could be a letting go of a joint finance. There could be letting go of a career and moving more towards more of an altruistic or philanthropic kind of viewpoint for you. Could be something like that too. And then Mars and Venus in sextile with Neptune. This is your chart ruler, Venus, your 7th house ruler, Mars, and this also is, let's see, I'm trying to think of how Taurus is, oh goodness, I can't think of it. But anyway, so this is a chart ruler and this is your descendant ruler, right? They're in together in the 9th house. This could be traveling. This could be education. This could be, speaking with people at a distance. This could be traveling with a partner, or taking a getaway with a partner, right? Something like that. But in sextile with Neptune, this is happening in your 11th house. So there's working together maybe with someone at a distance that you're working with for some type of project or some type of social connection, something that's going on there, some type of teaching even at a distance, that you're partnering with someone to do that. That could be something for you as well. And then Mercury squaring Uranus, I mean, this is happening in your, this is happening in your sign with Uranus and your 10th house with Mercury. And so There could be conversations about career. There could be some shocking revelations, or maybe you are shocking your boss in some way. There could be shocking communications with an authority figure in your life, or you are doing the shocking conversations with an authority figure in your life. There could be something like that as well for you. So just be aware that that is, and it is post shadow. So there's definitely some interesting conversations going on for you. And then for Gemini and Gemini rising, this third quarter square is happening in your 10th and in your 7th house. So there's something it is that you are letting go in terms of a relationship or a career of some kind. There's something that needs to be changed in terms of what it is that you're known for as we come out of that full moon that happened in your 9th and your 3rd house. Your worldview has now shifted. Your day-to-day communications, your community, who you're talking to every day has shifted. There could be a door closing on something and you are having to walk away from a public station, a public or a boss even is leaving. Like it could be something like that too for you. Mars and Venus in Taurus in your, no, not in Taurus, in Capricorn, sorry. Mars and Venus in your 8th house in a really nice sextile with Neptune in your 10th house. This could be, you know, occult work. This could be working with a doctor even for your health, or working through some type of insurance claim that has to do with something that you're known for, or somehow there's working with energy here. This could also be your partner working, this could also be something to do with your partner working with their parents on something. Maybe there's something going on with your partner, right? Your partner's finances. Maybe they need to work, maybe they need to give money to their parents or something like that. Like that could be a thing too, just so you're aware. But this Mercury square Uranus is happening. Oh my goodness. This is your chart ruler too. So this is super important for you. This is happening in your 12th house and in your 9th house. So that's a tough one. So this could be you having to shift your mindset because of some type of loss, or this could be you having to shift your viewpoint or take a sudden trip to, you know, a hospital, to a rehabilitation center, to something like that, and it's going to be out of the blue, and it's not going to be it's going to be out of the blue, and it's going to be pulling you away from the world. There's something really disruptive going on there in that 12th house for you, with Mercury squaring your chart ruler, squaring it from the 9th. So there could be a sudden trip that needs to come up out of the blue. This could be for fun, or this could be because of something going on with your body, or this could be because of something going on with a parent even, and you have to go you have to take a trip somewhere to a hospital or something like that for them. I don't want to like say that and scare you. It's just that it's the possibilities. Or it could even be deciding, you know what, you've had enough of where it is that you're living, and out of the blue, you're just going to take a trip somewhere, and maybe you won't come back. You're going to just stay there in a foreign country or something, right? It could be something like that too. Just with Uranus, it's really hard to predict with Uranus, so just so you're aware. But the square is definitely like shocking communications at a distance that have to do with either rehabilitation centers, dreams, you know, things that are going on behind the scenes, things like that. So there is that. And then for Cancer and for Cancer rising, this Pisces Sagittarius square is happening in your 9th and in your 6th house. So the full moon that we just had in Leo and in Leo and Taurus, good Lord. that we just had in Leo and Aquarius was happening in your 2nd and in your 8th house. So there was something that could have been very intense psychologically for you that had to do with money or joint finances, or how it is that you are spending money, or money that could be coming in from an outside resource, and what you yourself are doing with your own resources, right? Like there could be something that came to like a head last week with that full moon in Leo, but now with the Pisces Sagittarius 3rd quarter square, there's a need to rethink what it is that you're doing for work every single day, because this is the moon, right? And the sun is in the 9th house. So this could be rethinking and having to let go of some type of viewpoint, some type of long-standing belief about something, and coming down and letting go of a job that you don't necessarily want anymore, or letting go of a job, because this is also your chart ruler. So this could be letting go of a job and moving more towards 9th house themes of like foreigners or travel or worldview or teaching, even having to let things go, because we are having a new moon upcoming, the following week in Pisces, with Jupiter strengthening your 9th house. So there could be opportunity there, teaching opportunities for you as we come into that new moon, but you have to let something go. Like there's something that's coming to an end that you need to let go of in terms of your work, even your health, something that you're doing every single day, to be able to move into this new moon in Pisces coming up. And then Venus and Mars in sextile with Neptune. This is happening in your 7th house to your 9th house. So there could definitely be new collaborations. This could be partnering up with someone. Oh, I'm just thinking, yes, that's that's happening. So this could be partnering with someone for a teaching pursuit, right? With Neptune in its home sign of Pisces, and then Mars and Venus, like Mars rules your 10th house of what it is that you're known for. Venus rules your 4th house of home, family, property. Mars also rules your 5th house of fun, joy, play, and Venus rules your 11th house of social connections and people that you associate with by choice. So there could definitely be collaborations on the way in terms of your partnerships and who you're partnering with and why you're partnering. You could partner with a friend for a teaching pursuit. You could partner with a friend or a social group that you belong to for some type of reframing of the reality that you want to create moving forward. Could be something like that. And then Mercury squaring Uranus. This is happening in your 8th to your 11th house. So there could definitely be really intense communications coming in. There could even be, with this being Mercury, there could even be some kind of psychic things going on with you in terms of like your spidey senses, right? Because your 12th house is also ruled by Mercury. And then also too, your 3rd house is ruled by Mercury. So this could be communications of money even, that have to do with people that you associate with by choice. But this could be money coming in through an outside resource, money coming in through an outside resource that with the square, you never know. It could be a money gain or it could be a money loss, right? And that's with Uranus, you don't know. It could be a big swing either way. So that's what's going on for Cancer. And then for Leo and for Leo rising, this 3rd quarter square is happening in your 8th house and in your 5th house. So this full moon that just happened, this happened in your sign. This happened, there was something that culminated, completed, finalized, or something that you're letting go of in terms of relationship, in terms of who you are relating to, right? Like this could be you cutting out a relationship, or this could be the fruition of a relationship, or it could be both. I mean, it's a total possibility. So with this 3rd quarter square happening with the moon in Sagittarius and the sun in Pisces, this is happening in your 8th house. So there could be a need to let go of resources coming in through an outside source for you, or you cutting away with, or even you transforming who you are, transforming deep psychological blocks through creative projects. That could be something that's going on for Leo risings, where you're having to let go of something, maybe even let go of something that could be creative, or something that could be letting go of something that could be something that you could be passionate about, or something that could be yeah, this could be a change even in your child's life. And so we're winding down from that full moon. So we're having to kind of adapt and change and do something different, and maybe even dive into your inner child with this, and understand where kind of the prickles come from, right? Like the, ooh, I don't like this kind of energy, because the 8th house is a really uncomfortable house to be in. But you have Jupiter there right now, you have Neptune there right now, so your 8th house is really being strengthened. So there's an ease with going over deep psychological blocks and letting them go. And so that could be what this turns out to be. Mars and Venus in Capricorn are in your 6th house, in sextile with Neptune in your 8th house. So this could be something to do with your home, your family, your property, something that you're doing every single day. Maybe if you work from home, this could be you working from home, and your public standing and public reputation with Venus there, because Mars and Venus both rule your 4th and your 10th house. Venus and Mars also rule your 3rd and your 9th house. So there could be new work for you in terms of what it is that you're doing every single day, with teaching, or with communication, or with text messages, emails, phone calls, things like that. So there could be some really nice energy in terms of what you're doing every single day. This could also be you being really fired up and really passionate about a new workout routine. This could be, working with other people to get your health in order, or get their health in order. It could be something like that as well. And then Mercury squaring Uranus, this is happening from your 7th to your 10th house. You could be having some really shocking, really intense conversations going on in terms of your contracts, agreements, negotiations, relationships, one-to-one partnerships, and your career, your public standing, your public reputation, and what you're doing out in the world. So this could definitely be some really intense conversations going on in partnership, but really shocking, right? Like not intense like Pluto intense, or not intense like Mars intense, but this is intense like Uranus intense. Like it's shocking, it's liberating, it's freeing, it's it could be like, oh my God, what the heck is going on here, right? Like there's definitely some things going on this week that are very interesting. So that's for Leo. And then for Virgo and for Virgo rising, this 3rd quarter square moon is happening in your 7th and in your 10th house. So there could be a conversation, or there could be a need to, or no, I'm sorry, not your 10th and your 7th, your 4th and your 7th. So there could be a need to let go of something that is going on the home front for you, and what's going on in partnership. There could be a need to kind of wind down from, especially because we're coming off the back end of that full moon in Leo. There could be a need to let go of some type of self-sabotaging behavior, and really focus on what's going on the home front and in your relationships to the people that you care about, right? Because the 4th house is our home, our family, our roots, our property, our parents. The 7th house is our spouses, our contracts, our agreements, our negotiations, right? So there could definitely be something going on here, and a letting go that needs to happen in one of these areas of our lives, and kind of moving more towards where that new moon is happening in your 7th house. So there's definitely something really big coming there for you, especially if you have, your planets or your points are near that 12-degree mark where that new moon is happening next week. And then Mars and Venus, these are traveling together in your 5th house. This is fun, play, joy. This is passion. This is, this can be sex, right? So it can be those things, but this could also be being really fired up and really passionate about, if I can speak here. This could be see you being really fired up and really passionate about a creative hobby or something that you do creatively to express yourself. With Mars here, Mars does rule your second house, and Mars also rules your, or no, I'm sorry, Libra rules your second house, Mars rules your third house, and then so this could be like being really passionate about your income, your finances, your value systems, because Venus is with Mars. And then this could also be like communication, right? About something that you love to do just because you love to do it. But there's definitely a coming together with these two, or even like, it could be a separating energy with Mars. It depends on if you're a day born or a night born. But you know, for the most part, these two traveling together and being in sextile, especially with your seventh house. I mean, this could be really good for your partnerships. This could be really good for maybe even something that's going on with a partner, a long-term partnership, right? There's a creative endeavor, creative hobby, something is going on here with your partner. This could also be maybe your partner is traveling somewhere, somewhere exotic or something, right? Because, you know, Venus does also rule your ninth house. Mars rules your eighth house. So, I mean, the possibilities with this one are so many just because of the rulerships of these two planets, being in sextile with Neptune with your seventh house, right? So Neptune is strengthening that seventh house. So, and Jupiter. So there could definitely be some really interesting mix of things going on in terms of passion, fun, play, joy, sex, partnership, you know, things like that. So that is going on for that. And then Mercury and Uranus are squaring from your sixth house to your ninth house. So there could definitely be some really shocking conversations going on in the workplace for you, going on with colleagues and coworkers or employees if you have them. And so there could be really shocking conversations that are going on that kind of really snap you out of complacency in terms of how you're framing reality. Or maybe there needs to be even like a trip to a foreign country, or maybe there's a trip that's coming up for you, or this could teaching or learning something, right? This could be really shocking, and this is happening from your sixth to your ninth house. So and this is your chart ruler, right? So your focus is on what you're doing every single day with your chart ruler being here. Your chart ruler's now out of retrograde and being in square with Uranus, which is the sixth house ruler in the ninth. This could be having to shift gears and shift perspectives on what it is that you're doing for work, and having to kind of refocus the bigger kind of 10,000 foot view of that, what you're doing every single day, right? Like this is kind of how you frame your reality around you. And so there could be a shift going on with that that's going to affect your work. Okay, so there is that. And then for Libra and for Libra rising, this third quarter square is happening in Pisces and Sagittarius. So this is happening in your sixth house and in your third house. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second. So this third quarter square, I mean, the full moon in Leo happened in your 11th and in your 5th house. So you could have seen really intense power struggles in terms of children, groups and associations, who you are associated with by choice, and children and fun, joy, play, things like that. Squaring the nodes in your second and in your 8th house, this has to do with money, materials, possessions. And so there could be really uncomfortable things going on there in terms of those themes in your life. And with this third quarter square happening, there's a need to kind of refocus your everyday life and refocus what it is that you're doing every single day, and how you're speaking, how you're communicating with people, right? Because this can also be, this, especially that third house, like the moon in Sagittarius is like bigger than life, right? Like it's very gregarious and it's very over the top. So just be aware of that. There's a need for emotional freedom and needing to kind of have that dream job, or like what you're doing every single day needs to be very spiritual in nature. There could be themes of that too. And then Mars and Venus being in Capricorn in your 4th house, in sextile with Neptune in your 6th house. This could be you working on working on something every single day to do with the home front, to maybe change what's going on with the home front, because this is also your chart ruler and this is your descendant ruler. Maybe you and your partner are coming together behind closed doors to talk about what needs to happen every single day in your partnership. That could be a thing. Or this could be maybe a contract even for a new home, or the sale of a home, or something like that. And then Mercury squaring Uranus is happening from your 5th to your 8th house. So there could be really shocking conversations that happen around children, around fun, play, joy, around what brings you pleasure. There could be really shocking, intense conversations, right? And I say intense because Uranus can be very liberating, but it can be what the heck too, right? And you never know. So this could be really shocking conversations that deepen your intimacy with your partner, or this could be really shocking conversations that are like deeply psychologically wounding for you. So it's kind of with Uranus, you never really know what's going on with it. So there is that. And then Scorpio and Scorpio rising, this Pisces Sagittarius 3rd quarter square is happening in your 5th house and in your 2nd house. So there could be a letting go of something to do with either your value system, your money, your materials, your possessions. How you value yourself even could be changing because of that full moon that just happened in your 10th and in your 4th house. So, the full moon is highlighting your career, highlighting what it is that you're doing out in the world, your public standing, public reputation, and the sun was bringing life and light into your home front and what you're doing at home and behind the scenes, what you come home to every day. So there could have been some really intense things going on there, especially because the nodes were square. This was squaring the nodes in your 1st and in your 7th house. So there was a need to change something in terms of your career, your public standing, your public reputation. And there's a need to let go of maybe a way that you make money in order to move more towards a creative hobby, creative endeavor coming up with that new moon in Pisces. And then Mars and Venus in Capricorn, this is in your 3rd house, in sextile with Neptune in your 5th house. So this could be really great conversations because this is your 7th and your 7th and your 1st house ruler. Like Mars is your chart ruler, Venus rules your 7th house. And so there's also Mars does rule your 6th house and Venus does rule your 12th house. So there could be behind the scenes conversations that are going on that have to do with something that you're really passionate about. There can be really intense conversations going on in a good way with your partner and about something that's bringing you joy. This could even be conversations about children. This could be conversations about either having children or not, or moving more towards a creative kind of life that you want to. And then with Mercury in square with Uranus, this is happening in your 4th house and in your 7th house. So there could be really shocking conversations that happen in partnership, or in even really shocking conversations that happen, behind the scenes, behind closed doors in partnership with, like, maybe your partner comes home and says something really shocking to you, that something is changing, or there's a new, there could be maybe even like a new business partner, or a business partner leaving, or something like that. Like this is just really shocking conversations that can be happening in partnership behind closed doors with other people. And then for Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising, this, this 3rd quarter square is happening in your sign and in your 4th house. So there's this full moon that just happened in Leo this was highlighting your worldview. This was highlighting how you frame reality. There's something that you need to let go of in terms of how you see reality around you and what you're communicating every single day, right? And so this could also be the fulfillment, fruition of a teaching project or an educational pursuit that maybe you want to go after. It could be something like that. But with this third quarter square happening, there is a need for you to kind of bring yourself back down into that home front, right? There's a need to maybe you need to maybe let go of something in terms of what's going on the home front, let go of you yourself, right? Because the moon is in your sign, and this this third quarter square is happening in your sign and in your fourth house. So there could be something going on with your property, your family, your place of living, your family of origin, and you, right? Like there could be a need to let go, like an emotional kind of, because it is the moon in your sign. So there could be emotionally, you need to let go of something on the home front. And then Mars and Venus in Capricorn, this is happening in your second house. And this is really nice for you for money, because these two coming together is creating kind of, I mean, it depends if you're a day chart or a night chart, right? Like Mars can be a little more malefic here if it is a night chart, but it is exalted. And so there could definitely be a unifying factor in terms of your money, your materials, your possessions, what it is that you value, and what's going on the home front. This could also be money that either comes in or goes out from the purchase or the sale of a home. That could be something here too. And then Mercury in square with Uranus, this is happening in your third house to your sixth house. You could be having really shocking conversations in terms of what's going on with your daily routines, your life, like your daily life, like what you're doing every single day. This could be really shocking conversations that have to do with like your neighborhood or what's going on in your neighborhood, extended family members as well. And this could be really interesting conversations too that have to do with partnership or career and what you're doing every single day. So there's definitely an interesting mix of energy going on here too, for you. And then for Capricorn and Capricorn rising, the Pisces Sagittarius third quarter square is happening in your 12th and in your third house. So there's a need to let go of some type of self-sabotaging or even self-deprecating conversations or ways of speaking that need to go, that you need to move on from, or even like an emotional ending to maybe you're moving and maybe there's something going on, that you feel really emotional about leaving the community that you're in, or even something going on with an extended family member or a vehicle or something like that. Maybe you need to let go of a vehicle. With Mars and Venus in your sign, this could see you being really passionate about what's going on in conversation. Maybe you're really passionate, like, because Mars is a very inflammatory energy, and you maybe are deciding that you're going to take the reins, you're going to, level up, be the general, right? Because Mars in Capricorn can be very general energy, like very tactic driven, if I can say that. And Venus, Venus is a unifying energy. And so for you, this could be you taking charge of maybe what's going on the home front and what's going on in career, and communicating that in a very direct and clear way with, maybe even communicating about like a wish that you have in terms of your home or your career. Could be something like that too. With Mercury and Uranus square, though, this is happening in your second and in your 5th house. So there could be really shocking conversations that are going on in terms of money, materials, possessions. There could be shocking conversations in terms of what it is that you value through your children, or maybe even money that you have to possibly spend for your children, right? Like that's a thing. Or this could be really shocking money that needs to be spent for a creative hobby, creative endeavor, something that you love to do just because you love to do it. There's that too. So that is that. And then Aquarius and Aquarius rising, this Pisces Sagittarius square is happening. Where is this happening for you, Aquarius? This is happening in your 2nd and in your 11th house. Good Lord, why did it take me so long to figure that out? It is the evening, so I will say that. But so this 3rd quarter square is happening in your 2nd and in your 11th house. So this could definitely be a need to let go of certain social contracts or social agreements or people that you associate with by choice, friends even, because there could be a drain going on in terms of your money, your materials, your possessions, your finances, because the sun is moving through your 2nd house. It's highlighting your money, materials, and possessions. And with this full moon that just happened, in your relationship, maybe there's a cutting away that needs to happen in terms of your group associations or who you're associating with in relationship, and it's going to kind of hit the old wallet a little bit. And then Mars and Venus in Capricorn in your 12th house. I mean, this could definitely be conversations behind the scenes that have to do with money, that have to do with your possessions, that have to do with what it is that you value. So with Mars and Venus here, this could be conversation or having to let go of a property, or having to think about letting go of a specific career that you are in. And also shifting or having conversations with people at a distance about what's going on in your local community. Like that could be something there, but this is going to be affecting your value systems. This could also be affecting your finances too, because Neptune and Pisces as a 2nd house or in the 2nd house, this can definitely see money coming in but going out really quickly, where, hey, you might have like a really nice week if you're in sales or something like that, but then you have these other expenses that pop up out of nowhere, and it's like, okay, well, where'd all that money go? I got what I needed to pay my bills, but I don't have anything extra. So there could definitely be some behind the scenes conversations about that going on. That's the thing. And maybe it has to do with finances, to do with a home, or finances to do with what it is that you're known for out in the world. It could be something like that too. And then Mercury squaring Uranus, this is happening in your sign to your 4th house. So there could be really shocking conversations going on about what's going on the home front, about what it is that you want to come home to, about who you want to come home to. So there could definitely be some really interesting developments there in terms of you maybe you even want to communicate with a family member about something that's really important but that's really shocking, or maybe even having a conversation with a parent or with someone that lives in the home, and it's going to be very liberating and very freeing for you. So it could be something like that too. And now for Pisces and Pisces rising, this 3rd quarter square is happening in your 10th and in your sign, right? So the sun is highlighting you, who you are, what you're doing. This is bringing light, joy, heat to you, your physical body, your physical vitality. And then the moon moving through Sagittarius, this is kind of like an emotional release of what's going on in career. Maybe you're letting go of a career. Maybe that full moon in your 12th and in your 6th house saw you letting go of something that you're doing every single day and moving into a new way of being known out in the world. And there's something that has to be let go of before a new beginning can happen for you. So that's going on. And then Mars and Venus in sextile Mars and Venus in your 11th house in sextile with Neptune in your 1st house. This could be joining forces with other people that are going to, that is almost magical, right? Because the sextile is like really magical. The fact that it's Mars and Venus, let's see, Mars rules your second house of your finances, right? So there could definitely be some interesting developments in terms of even your value system. And then Venus rules your eighth house of joint finances, joint money, joint, you know, things like that, insurances, inheritances, taxes, debt, things like that. So there could definitely be something going on there with that in terms of who it is that you're associating with by choice. And then, you know, there's also Mercury squaring Uranus from your 12th house to your, yeah, where is this happening? Goodness gracious me. I am losing my mind today. It's been a really long day, guys. I'm not going to lie. It's been a long day. So let's see. So Pisces rising. Mercury is in your 12th house and Uranus is in your 3rd house. Good Lord. So there could definitely be some really shocking conversations that come out of nowhere. Maybe even conversations that are going on behind the scenes that could be really shocking for you. That could be, you know, like, or coming at you from a distance, or this could even be maybe you talking about a crazy dream that you had. There could be something like that too, for Pisces and Pisces rising. So that is what I have. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.